Hello everyone, welcome to the codingbat run-throughs. And so basically, these are the codingbat homework problems in order that I've assigned them in the homework 3 thing here. And so I'm going to code them in real time, explain what I'm doing as I'm doing them. I'm going to go quickly, but these should help you understand the thought process as well as the solution. All right, let's go. So has team blah blah blah. We were given A, B, and C, and we want to say return true if one or more of them are teams. So if A, okay, so this is basically a lot of Boolean logic. If 13 is less than inclusive, so less than or equal to A, and 19 is greater than or equal to A, that's one part. And then we say, actually I'm going to put another parentheses around this. And I'm going to say, and I'm going to copy this segment, and this segment. And I'm going to say B, and, oh, by the way, the other thing is there are multiple ways to do all of these. So, if you have a slightly different solution, don't worry about it. If it works, it works. So let's take a look, and we're going to do this. We're going to say return true. Oh, actually, this wouldn't be and, this would be or. And this would be or. Else, return false. So basically what this means is this is a check for whether A is team, so to speak. It's greater than or equal to 13 and less than or equal to 19. But then this one, it's or, because A doesn't need to be it if B is it, and B and A don't need to be it if C is it, because it says one or more. So we have ors here. So let's see if this works. All correct. Ta-da. Next. Two int values return their sum. Unless the two values are the same, they return double their sum. So the first test is going to be if A equals B, then return 2 times A plus B. Else, this means A doesn't equal B, return A plus B. And you don't need parentheses around it like this, but I'll do it anyway. All correct, good. Makes 10. Given two ints A and B, return true if one of them is 10 or if their sum is 10. So if A equals 10 or B equals 10 or A plus B equals 10, return true, else return false. And it's good practice to use brackets, but if you only have a single line, then you don't actually need them. Uh-oh, what did I do? Oh, I have a third equals. That's no good. Alright, all correct. Oh, okay, so here's this. We'll say a number is team, so this is very similar, but it says return true if one or the other is team, but not both. So I'm going to go ahead and copy my code for the first problem, and we will just edit it. This is why it is a good idea to save your code. So, all right. So we'll put an and here. Get rid of C, because that doesn't mean anything anymore. We'll say false. And then else, we're going to need another if. We'll put the or back in here. And we need one more else. And we're going to say return false. And let me just make sure this works. Okay, this is good. So now I'll explain it. I want to make sure it worked. So the first check is whether they are both teen, because it says if one or the other is teen, but not both. So if they are both teen, so if this is teen and B is teen, we're going to return false. If they're not both teen, but either A or B is teen, then we're going to return true. And if they're not, if both of them are not teen, we're going to return false. So that's the logic on that. Next, sleep in. Weekday is true if it is a weekday, and the vacation is true if we're on vacation. We sleep in if it is not a weekday or we're on vacation. So if vacation equals true, or weekday equals false, return true, because it says return true if we sleep in, else return false. And here again, we don't need the curly brackets, although we should use them. I'm just going quickly. All right, return true if it was within 1 of 100 or 200, and math.absolute, so it's giving us that hint there. So if math.abs n, wait a second, how many do this? If it is within 10 of 100. All right, hold on, I need to think about this for a second. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I wasn't thinking. Here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to say if n minus 100, oh, we're going to say math.if math.absolute value of n minus 100 is less than or equal to 10, or math.absolute value of n minus 200 is less than or equal to 10, return true, else return false. This should work. Yep, correct. So what this is saying is we're going to do n minus 100, because if it's like 93 minus 100, that's going to be negative 7. But its absolute value, so that's 7, that's less than or equal to 10, which means it's within 10 of 100. So if that's true, or if it's within 10 of 200, we're going to return true, otherwise return false. All right, next. Max 10, 20, given two positive int values, return the larger value that's in range. Okay, so if a, well here, I'm going to do some code copying again. Oops. If 10 is less than or equal to a, and 20 is greater than, and then 10 says return 0 if neither are in that range. So if, and I'm going to put a big not here. What that is saying is if it is not true with that, I'm going to return false, or return 0. And then else, it says return the larger value. Well, they're leaving out a case here where 1 is within, oh, I see, okay. All right. And then, well, what we can do then is we can say else if, and we'll do this again. We will return, so this is saying if A is in the range and B is not in the range, we will return A. There's probably a more efficient way to do this, but I'm just going to do it this way because it's easy. And then if this is A is not in the range and B is in the range, we're going to return B. Else, which would have to mean that both A and B are in the range, return math.max A comma B. And if you remember math.max, it takes the maximum. So let's see this. Okay, good, all correct. Next start. Oh, we're starting to do string methods now. If the given string begins with mix, except the end can be anything, so pix 9x all count. So basically, they're asking if the second and third characters are ix. So we're going to do if str, because it's passing us the string, so str dot char at, and index 1, because this is index 0, middle one is index 1, and second one is index 2. So char equals equals character I, and run an and str dot char at 2 equals x, return true, false, return false. So, uh-oh, some stuff is not happening. Okay, so here we go. String index out of range, because they fed me something that is not even 3 characters, and so 2, the index 2 doesn't exist. So we have to say if str dot length is less than 3, return false. And there we go. So that basically that gets rid of all the stuff that's less than 3 at the very start. Return true if the given string contains between 1 and 3 E characters. All right, this one I coded earlier, so I'm just going to copy paste. Give me a second. Okay, sorry for the jumping around there. I had done it in NetBeans, and I had different variable names, and so I had to make it work in here. But essentially, the first thing is it's asking between 1 and 3, so we have to have a counter. So int count equals 0, and then I have a while loop string that contains e. So while there's still e's in the string, I'm basically going to make the string be the same string but without that e. And so the way I do that is with substring. So string.substring from 0 at the beginning to whatever the index of e is. And so that's going to take 0 to the character before the e, and then I'm going to add on top of that, starting at the index of the e plus 1. So we're not going to include the e, we're going to include the character right after the e. And if you give a substring with only one argument, it's going to go till the end. And so that's what that does. And every time I do that, I increment the count. If 1 is less than or equal to the count, and 3 is greater than or equal to the count, return true, else return false. There we go. Next, you go to string, take the last character, return the new string, the last character out of the front. So basically what we need is character C equals str dot char at, but we don't know how long str is. So we're going to say str dot length minus 1. And what that's going to do is it's going to say however long string str is, the length is always going to be 1 more than the last index. If it's length 3, the indexes are 0, 1, and 2. And so length minus 1, that'd be the last index. Then we're going to say return, because we're going to return, and we're going to say C plus str plus C. So we put it at the beginning and at the end, and we'll see if this works. Come on, go. Well, not sure why that's not working. Just a sec. All right, I'm going to end the video and start a new one, picking up right from this spot.